Hi, Jesse. Nice to see you. Hi, Max. We're waiting for Isabel. Hey, Tom. Hey, Justin. There she is. Hi, Harry. Hi, Isabel. Yay, there she
Yay!
is. My superstar. Welcome, welcome. All right, everybody. Good morning, and thanks for joining us for another version of Facebook Live on MOUG. Hey, Justin. Shout out to you from everybody here. Jorge, hi, Miles. All right, so I'm joined today again, of course, with my lovely co-host, Isabel Wang, the one and only. We have a few new things that happened this week that we should probably mention. Um, so the Theta Z1 is now in beta, so you can go ahead and buy one of those and try it. From what I've heard, it works pretty well. So everybody go ahead and give that a try. There's also a contest, so you can read more details on the posting in Facebook.
So
Uh,
I have a question about the contest. It says to share it on Instagram, and the rules are on Instagram. But I went to Matterport's Instagram account, and there are no rules.
uh-oh. Okay. Well, I will find out what the deal is. So yeah, so we're having a contest. I don't know a whole lot about it. I believe that's done through the marketing team, but I will follow up on that. All right. So starting on June 13th, you will be able to purchase one of the business plans. Uh, there's still going to be annual plans, but you can now purchase those and pay for them monthly. But remember, it will still be an annual plan and you'll be locked in for the year. Let's see what else is new. Aha! We now have a partnership with HomeAway and Verbo.
Yay!
Yeah, and that works pretty much the same way as Google Street View. You go to the app section in your space and you'll see a new icon there, or like a square, and that's for HomeAway VRBO. Verbo, you type in the link to the listing on HomeAway or Verbo and you upload. Currently it is free. But remember that it doesn't upload the entire model. It just uploads, it turns your scans into 360 views and uploads that just like it does with Google Street View. So if you kind of think of it as the same as Google Street View, you should be okay. There's one extra step. If you don't turn the toggle on in your settings, that after it's uploaded to either HomeAway or Verbo, you then have to go back and say you like it and it can be published, and then it goes live. So if you have any questions about that, you can either call sales or support. We're here and happy to help you with that. Hi, Jeff. All right. Do we have some questions?
I have a question. So we've gotten a lot of reports these past couple of weeks about people having trouble uploading.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you can explain the process of what goes on Matterport's backend when someone tries to upload. So I'm done with the scan now. I'm in front of a Wi-Fi router and I hit upload. So what does this look like on Matterport's end?
So it's trying at that point to send the data to our servers, and sometimes it either gets stuck at 0%. So there's several different issues that are happening. It can get stuck at 0%. If it does, or it can get very slow. So it can actually, when it uploads very slowly, it will actually finally upload after a while. Just be patient. Remember, keep the capture app in the foreground. Don't let it shut down or go into the background, because then it won't upload. So in order for capture to be uploading, it has to be in the foreground and open and running. Yes, so that is an issue that we know about. The other, again, like I said, the other issue is where it goes 0%. If that happens, then you should sign out of capture, force close the capture app, turn off your iPad, wait about 3 minutes, turn it back on, sign back in. Sometimes that will force the upload to go through. If not, you can make a copy and try and upload the copy. And if that still is stuck at 0%, contact support. What we do is we get you a Google Drive folder, and we ask you to manually provide us with the files that we need. So there's several different types of files. We need the manifest file, which is like an index to your space, and we need these files called .swl, stands for swill, and you have one of those for each scan that you did in your model. So those files together we need, and when we have those, then we can manually upload your space for you. But you do need to contact support to get the information that you need for the Google Drive so you can upload the data to us. And then I've heard that if that happens, what you need to do then is, well, you've already backed up your iPad because you have to back it up in order to get us the raw data. So you should then reinstall Capture and then reinstall from the backup if you really want those models back on your iPad. But this may be a good time where you just say, okay, I don't really need those on my iPad. I'll just start fresh with Capture and no files in my Capture app.
So you're saying the upload issue is attributable to the Capture app?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's something that our engineers are working on, and hopefully it will be resolved shortly.
So is it because of the current version of the Capture app is not playing so nice with the backend?
It appears to be. It appears to have started recently with the new version of Capture.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know for sure if that's the cause, but there's a correlation there, right? Yeah. Alrighty, so what else do we have? Let's see.
So Michael is concerned about support not being responsive when he needs it. So what if I have an urgent scan and the customer is breathing down my neck, and it's not uploading and it's not the hours where support is really available? What is the best way to get in contact?
We actually, if you call support or you write in and you tell us that it's urgent, that you're on site, whatever, we do try to prioritize that, and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. We do have coverage over the weekend, so if you are having an issue over the weekend, you should be able to reach out, tell us that it's urgent. So put it on the title, or when you call in, press the urgent button. Usually I'm working all the time anyway, and I typically will see them. Hopefully we got you covered. And I'm so sorry that support has been a little bit slower. We've been getting a lot of incoming requests, and we're trying to get through those as soon as we can. So if you bear with us, I really appreciate that. All right.
Question from Joe Rivera. So with iAmazing, what it does is, so Joe asked last week about backing up using iAmazing. So what it does is it moves raw scan files from your iPad onto your computer. And yes, you can, after it's on your computer, then you can move it to Dropbox, you can move it to a removable hard drive, you can move it to someone else's iPad. So once it's on your computer, you're free to do whatever you like with it.
Yep. Hey, Dean. All right, so somebody asked, when will we be able to upload to HomeAway or Verbo? You can do that now. So go ahead and just try it. Remember, it's under the apps section where you would normally find Google Street View.
So Tom says that the pricing documentation has not been updated to reflect the large scan charges. Is that planned to be updated?
Uh, yeah, I'll look into that. So actually for the large space issue, so we do have some messaging that I can read to you. Hang on one second. If you can take another question while I pull that up. We have another question.
I'm reading.
All right, here we go. I have this answer. All right. Before the March 2019 billing cycle, large spaces, which is spaces which have over 1,000 scan points, including 3D and 360 views.
1,000 or 100?
Did I say 1,000?
Yes.
Sorry, 100. So large spaces that have over 100 scan points were considered part of the free processing credits in your monthly service. Since the March 2019 billing cycle, large space processing fees have been charged at the full cost of processing a large space and are no longer considered free in any Matterport subscription plan that includes monthly processing fees. So if you're on a new plan, it doesn't matter because you don't pay processing. However, on the classic plans, large spaces are no longer considered free and you will be charged processing fees.
So question from Fatima, and no, Airbnb is not included just yet, but HomeAway is supported and it's available now, but it is like Google Street View. It is not a full 3D tour.
Thanks, Raul.
100 scans.
Not 1,000, 100. Yeah, so we don't have a partnership with Airbnb just yet.
Is that in the works? Because in an interview with these two British ladies a couple of months back, the RJ mentioned Airbnb numerous times, so that got everyone's hopes up.
I don't know.
All right, Dustin is back from vacation.
Does the scan point count if you delete it from the capture while you scan? Oh, so that's a good question. So while you're scanning, you'll notice how the scan numbers increment. And if you delete one, it doesn't decrement the scan number, it just keeps going. So for example, if you have scanned 200 scans but you've deleted 50, you really only have 150. What happens when you upload, the processing engine completely throws out those numbers and it creates them all from scratch, and it removes deleted, non-aligned, failed to align scans. So it will only count the scans that have processed correctly. So the number in workshop, those numbers will always be less than or equal to the numbers in capture, right? So remember, capture doesn't decrement scan numbers at all. It just keeps going.
So this has happened to me a couple of times, and it has been asked pretty frequently. So sometimes capture gets confused and it starts reusing scan numbers, like scan number 3, scan number 3, scan number 3 again, and that doesn't matter, right? As long as the scans are in the right locations.
Yes. So sometimes it does get a little bit confused, and that's fine. So the question is from Tom is, if I have a space that has 150, 300, 500, is that the same charge for processing? Yes, those are all considered large, and processing fees depend on the type of camera you have. But if you have a Matterport Pro or Pro 2, it's $38. If you have a Matterport 2 Lite, Pro 2 Lite, it is it's
58.
Yeah,
29 plus 29.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Max is disappointed. So are we looking at HomeAway for other markets beyond the US in the near future? Because he's jealous.
Yeah. So right now HomeAway will only work in the US. I don't know what the plans are for expanding that to say England or Europe. But as soon as I know that, I will let you know.
Go ahead, sorry.
So Dean asks, can we request a floor plan from a Theta scan? No. from any scan that contains one theta or one scan done by a spherical camera, you cannot order floor plans or matter packs.
So Sherry wants to know how, like if you scan a patio or a balcony, how you should mark the outdoor spaces. What do you think, Dee?
Marking exterior scans and models where you exit an enclosed building and scan outdoors through patios, dashboards. Well, I mean, it kind of depends on what you want to get rid of. Just remember that if you are going to trim things, that the trim marks have to be surrounding all of the scan points. So if you trim, but you have a scan point that's outside of the trimmed area, that scan point will fill in the 3D mesh from whatever it can see. So I guess that's the only rule, but it's personal preference. Some people like to trim it pretty tight. Some people like to leave it more wide. It depends. So Jeff Johnson asked, large processing fees are applicable to legacy plans only. Yeah, they're called classic plans, and yes, because the new plans don't have processing fees.
So Tom wants to hide floor from uploading, and you can sort of work around this. So Tom scanned the whole building, but he doesn't want to upload the basement, not right now this minute. In this case, you would duplicate your model, you would delete the basement scans, and you would upload that, while you keep the original basement scan on your iPad or on your computer. And that's always available for re-uploading.
Yep. So Andrew asks, how can I become an approved vendor for HomeAway, or do we just approach owners directly? You don't need to become an approved vendor. You can upload any space to HomeAway. I guess you just have to find somebody who has a listing on HomeAway who wants you to do a Matterport scan of that home and upload it for them. So anybody can do it.
That's a good question. So right now the Thetas and the Instas, they don't support floor plans, but are there upcoming plans for any spherical cameras that are smaller than the Matterport and yet support floor plans?
I don't know. I think the answer is there going to be a Matterport camera? I don't know. Sorry. Are there any plans on getting Airbnb aboard? I don't know that either. Are 360s counted as scans? Yes, they are. So if you have a scan with 99 3D scans and two 360 views, that is considered large.
What if I convert a 360 view to a 3D? Does that count as 2?
Oh, that's a good question because it doesn't remove the 360 view. So yes, it will count as 2. Good question. I don't have any news, guys, about Airbnb. Sorry.
One of these days, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. Oh, you're not second-class citizens in Europe. I grew up there. I don't consider you a second-class citizen. All right.
So Tom has published to HomeAway, and it's like Google Street View. It's you know, all the scans are so it's not a full 3D tour. It's just interconnected 360s. So it may not be the experience you expect, but try it out. It's free.
Yeah. Play around with it. Delete, hide scans, and then re-upload. If you have too many that are on there, just go ahead and hide them.
That's a good question from Lewis. How many Matterport users are active in the world?
I don't know. That's a marketing question. I don't know. I'll find out.
Many.
Let me write that down. Okay.
How can, sorry. so Trish wants to add 360s to a tour after it's been processed. So if you go back, so let's say that you scan a building and you did not do 360s because it's raining, and you go back the next day and you add them, then you will have to re-upload because you can't add them like without uploading them.
No.
And so it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, so Dee mentioned previously that it's so let's say that you scan a building today and you made a highlight reel, you made snapshots, you made matter tags, but you couldn't do 360s. So tomorrow you go back, you do 360s, and you upload them into a new model, and so support can move those to the previous model, right? If it's just 360s, okay.
Yes, we can move them 360s from one space to another. It has to go through reprocessing, which means you'll get a new space with a new link. But if all we do is move 360s, we can also copy over all the stuff that you've done in workshop. Like we can copy matter tags, highlight reels, stuff like that. If you add a marking, we can also do that. But if you add scans, like 3D scans, then we can't do that because it changes the inherent 3D structure. Cassie asks, will floor plans be supported possible in the future with the Theta Z1? That's a good question. I would never say no, it may. Right now, I don't know the answer to that. Actually, we don't have an answer to that. So, but it could be.
And so to answer Jay, no, floor plans are not available for any Insta or Theta cameras at the moment.
Yep. The other thing you have to know is if you scan using a spherical camera and there's misalignment, for the most part, that's not something that we can fix. I've tried a few, I've been successful in a few, but for the most part, fixing it, repairing it doesn't work. Stitching as well has been somewhat difficult. It's hit or miss, but for the most part, it's usually doesn't work. Just so you know. Our floor
and
plans.
So when you're scanning with a spherical camera, you need to be extra careful that the points are showing up where you expect.
Yes. And if you have a super large building, you should probably think about using a Matterport camera. All right, same question again. Are floor plans available? No, if you have
People
one
really
scan.
want floor plan.
One scan with any spherical camera nullifies the ability to order a floor plan.
So what is happening right now with billing for the spherical cameras on the classic plans?
So that will change at some point. It hasn't changed yet, but uploads on the classic plans for any space or model that contains at least one spherical scan will be $29.
And so do you know when that will be implemented?
Probably within the next month or two, but we don't have a set date yet.
But at the moment, if you mix and match, then it's the regular price, right?
So if you upload with a model that has at least one spherical camera scan, it is free.
Oh, so right now it's free.
It is free until we switch that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're encouraging people to scan with the spherical cameras. Definitely with the new Theta Z1, the pictures actually look pretty good, and I've seen some great spaces that have been created. So yeah, give it a try and join the contest. We have a contest. And you can win a Theta Z1.
Ooh, but then you need a Theta Z1 in the first place.
Okay, minor detail. Yeah, you're right. So do we currently sell refurbished Pro cameras? I don't believe we do. Do we sell refurbished Pro 2s? I also don't believe we do, but I will check on that and get back to you.
Oh no, Raul did a super huge scan. Raul does a lot of huge scans, and it did not upload.
Uh-oh. What happened?
It's a mood thing. The system was not in the good mood.
Did you feed it some chocolate? So yeah, Raul, ping me on the side and we'll figure out what's going on. We may have to manually upload that. But again, try the trick about force closing capture and then waiting a bit, turning off your iPad, waiting 3 minutes, and bringing everything back, and then try and see if it'll upload then. Make sure the capture app is always running in the foreground. Make a copy and see if that will upload. Sometimes if you make a copy and upload that, it unsticks the prior upload.
So Martin has an issue with floors. And this happened, a lot of people have asked about this. Let's say that you scan 5 floors, you upload it, and the system thinks that you have 3 floors.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do, right? It just, the system decides based on what it thinks the heights are.
Right. So there's different things that can happen. When you define floors in the capture app, you're defining them to tell so that you don't see all of your scans sort of on top of each other. So if you really do have 2 floors, you don't want to see the scans from the first floor when you're scanning the second floor. The other reason why we do that is because when you add markings, the markings go by the floor. So for example, if you've got 2 floors and you have a bathroom on top of a living room, you want to mark the mirror in the bathroom, but you don't want to mark a mirror in the living room. So that's why it's important to separate your scans in the capture app into floors. Once you upload and our software starts to process that, it ignores all the floor designations that you've done in capture, and it creates flooring based on the elevation of each scan, all right? And it has in its algorithm rules that it follows. For example, if you have a floor that is less than 5 feet tall, our software doesn't think that's a separate floor. So a lot of attics, some basements, will be included. So if you have an attic and you have 3 floors, sometimes that attic, if it's less than 5 feet tall, will be part of floor 2 instead of floor 3. In that case, there's not much we can do to change that because that floor determination is completely machine generated and we can't influence that or change it. So there's 2 separate issues. The other issue is sometimes a space comes back with floors that are mushed together. So you'll have an 8-story building and you'll notice that floors 4 and 5 are in the same floor. That's a problem. You need to contact support. We can normally fix that for you. It's called pancaking. And what we do is we just move some of these scans a little bit higher so that they're on the correct floor, and it resolves that issue. I've seen only a handful of cases where it didn't work, but for the most part, that's pretty successful.
So it looks like Martin will need your help. He has 3 floors with bathrooms in a similar location, but the processing system decided to put it on the opposite side for one of the floors.
Yeah, so that I've seen that happen. Again, when you're scanning, watch where it's placing the scans. If it's placing them in the wrong location, delete it and try again. Sometimes it just won't cooperate. And when that happens, just leave it as is and contact support and we'll try and fix it for you. If you're in a big empty warehouse, remember, so the issue with the camera is that it can only see 8 feet. So if I'm in a big empty room and I'm right in the middle of that room and I can only see 8 feet, all I see is the floor, right? I don't see any of the walls because I can't see that far. So then if I move you to another spot within that big empty room, but I'm still in the middle of the room somewhere, again, all I see is the floor. I don't see any of the walls because I can't see further than 8 feet. And so I don't know where I'm at relative to where I used to be. So being short-sighted like that is an issue when you're in a space where you can't see more than 8 feet and everything 8 feet away from you looks the same. So that's why you need to use April tags, and you can print those out from our website. Remember, if you print April tags, don't resize them because size does matter. Don't reuse them within the same scan, but they're just virtual representations of landmarks. And the computer software uses those to align one scan to the next. So if you're in a big room, moving closer to the prior scan really is going to help you because it's still going to be confused. So you have to use some kind of trick like an April tag, or you can bring what Isabel likes to call arbor tags, which are just like flowers or trees, or put something around that room to distinguish one location from the other one. Yeah. Oh.
So on thetas, Jay wants to know, are there best practices for alignment that are different from Matterports?
So not really. Just be vigilant and watch where the scans are placed. What happens is it takes the picture and then it creates the 3D data. It infers that from the images that it sees. And after that point, it's just like you had done a 3D scan. It goes through the alignment, just like any other scan that you've done. So yeah, April tags can be placed on the floor, Raoul. They work best on the wall, but you can put them on the floor. I've seen people put them on chairs, like if you have theater with rows and rows of chairs, because that's confusing too, where the software doesn't know what row you're on. So I've seen that as well. I've also seen people use golf balls to put on chairs. Seems to work. I don't know. Right. All right.
So Andrew has a question, and I think others have reported this. In the edit mode, sometimes when you're placing the 360s, an exterior 360 outside of your model, it's the orientation doesn't take. So is it just a matter of republishing?
The orientation, meaning the rotation of the 360?
Yes, you place it and you turn it, but then it won't stay.
All right, if that's happening, that's a bug, because if you've rotated, it should stay where you've rotated it to. Contact support with that issue, but you should be able to rotate a placed 360 using the rotate button and then publish, and it should save that. Yeah, some people were having issues yesterday with the highlight reel acting crazy. Some of the snapshots were duplicating, some of them were disappearing, some of them were turned in the wrong direction. Our wonderful engineering team and my absolutely awesome QA engineer worked together with us on that, and they were able to actually fix that yesterday. So if you're still having problems, what you should do is delete the highlight reel that you currently have that may have been created yesterday and create it all from scratch again. Sorry about that. But I've seen it where when people do that, it's now working. And so I apologize for that inconvenience, but we did fix it, and my hat's off to the engineers for reacting so quickly and getting that done. That was definitely good. So, all right, so I think it looks like we're out of time right now. Again, thank you, Isabel, for being my co-host and cohort in crime. I couldn't do this without you, and all the time that you spend helping people on MOUG is definitely appreciated and definitely noticed. So thank you so much. And again, thanks to Adam over here who makes all this happen. Yay. Again, we will see you same time, same place next week. And until then, have an awesome week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.